Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video I'm giving you a Iceland travel guide, as Iceland is definitely on most people's bucket list, but it is a very expensive country to travel. So I'm going to give you some cheap travel hacks, and yeah, let's get into the video. So I'm just going to start with some quick facts about Iceland. So there is no time difference from the UK in Iceland. Their currency is Icelandic krona. Their capital is Reykjavik, and also Iceland is definitely a geographer's heaven, so that you have glaciers, volcanoes, hot springs, you name it, Iceland has probably got it. So I'm just going to move into travel and accommodation. So I'm first going to talk about your cheapest times to travel to Iceland. So these are typically going to be your off-peak seasons, which are September to November, and then also you're looking at January to May time. They're typically your cheapest times to fly, and you can get direct flights from the UK to Iceland, so many companies do fly directly. So you're looking at EasyJet, Icelandic Air, British Airways, and it's roughly a 2-hour 45-minute flight time, so pretty quick really. So for flights and accommodation, I've been looking at 3 to 4 days in October of 2021 to see at the price range, price difference, and see like the deals we can get. So honestly, I couldn't find an average price to give you for the flights directly from the UK, and they all really vary. I mean, if you're getting a flight under £150 to Iceland, then you're definitely winning. That is definitely a good price. So yeah. And then for accommodation, I have looked at many different types, and then I've narrowed it down to a few to look at for the cheapest ones. So I'm going to get into that now. So if you haven't guessed already, then hostels and hostels is definitely my favourite place to look for your hostels. So while I was researching for the 4 days in October, I found this really cool hostel, and it's called Galaxy Pod Hostel. And it's a really central location, and the reviews were amazing. It looked really clean, had really good hygiene reviews. It was coming up fairly cheap for Iceland. So for example, a female 6-bed dorm is coming up at £35, which is a really good price. But if you wanted to go a bit cheaper and like you were comfortable sharing with like multiple people, then a 24 mixed dorm was coming up at 26, so you'd save £9 just changing the rooms. But I am going to link this down below so you can have a look yourself, but honestly it looked so cool, like I'd definitely go back to stay here. So for hotels, I found a really cool one in the centre of Reykjavik. I think it was actually a 10-minute walk, so it's very central. This is called Hotel Mully, I think you say it. I will pop it on screen because honestly I haven't a clue, and I probably just butchered that. So I looked for 3 nights in October, and this was coming up at £131 for 2 people. So again, that is a really good price, especially given the location and the ratings. And if you didn't want to stay in either a hostel or a hotel, then your next best bet is going to be Airbnb. There are some really cool and quirky ones for Reykjavik on Airbnb, so I definitely recommend those. I couldn't really get an overall average price because they really did vary. But I think if you did want to stay in Airbnb, definitely look at hotel prices and compare them, and then you'll kind of figure if you're getting like a good deal. But definitely check the locations and then go off that. Okay, so lastly, I'm going to tell you my top 5 things that you need to do and see whilst you're in Iceland. And I'm also going to tell you how you can get to them. And I'm not really going to go into too much detail about what these things are. But if you'd like an in-depth things to do in the Iceland video, then definitely let me know and I will do that. I do have my laptop here because I know I'm not going to be able to pronounce like the majority of the words of the places, so I'm going to attempt, and if not I will put it on screen and also link you with some guides and websites for those places as well. So let's get started on. So number 1 is going to be the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. you can either get a coach and bus return transfer, so they'll pick you up from where you're staying or the centre of Reykjavik, take you there and back. You can also drive to all the places I'm going to tell you, but isn't really recommended as a tourist unless you're an experienced driver in the snow, because Iceland have a lot of accidents each year and they are mainly tourists. So just a disclaimer. So the second thing is Gullfoss waterfall. This is absolutely beautiful, by the way, and I definitely recommend this one the most. And again, you can get a coach or a bus return transfer. 3 is probably the most popular attraction in Iceland. Like, I think everyone goes here when they go to Iceland, and that is the Blue Lagoon. Or you do have the Secret Lagoon, which is a bit less touristy, and that is the one I went to. So I would recommend the Secret Lagoon. However, for either of these places, you can get a bus or coach return transfer. They are a bit expensive for these just because it is such a popular like attraction. So if you search about, you can definitely find cheap ones. So the 4th one, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce it, but it is a waterfall. And yes, once again, it is a return coach or bus transfer or driving. They're like their main public transports in Iceland. And then the last thing to say, which I think is the furthest out away from Reykjavik, is the Black Sand Beach. So this is really beautiful and definitely worth the visit. However, all of these things are quite out of the way from the city centre, so it's probably recommended if you did like a few a day with a tour company. The tour companies can be expensive, but if you look on getyourguide.com, they have like loads of tour guides listed with different things to do and like different attractions, and then you can sort that out in order of price, and then there's your transport sorted, and there's like if you have to pay any entry costs to anywhere, then that's sorted as well. So I definitely look and get your guide, and then you can see your different options, and it's probably the easiest way to travel around Iceland and see all the attractions, and you'll probably find different things from your tour guide, as they mainly are local, that you wouldn't have known if you went on your own. So that does come to the end of my video. Hopefully I've kept that short and sweet and told you all the best tips and tricks to travel Iceland cheaply. If you do like my video, please give it a huge thumbs up and subscribe, and I will definitely see you next week for a new video.